Hey everyone, my name is Kevin and I am a storytelling assistant here at Source Story. I hope you all got a chance to watch some of the amazing videos that came out. Dr. Mant's video was one of my favorites, so before you watch my digital story, I encourage you to watch that one and learn all about her assignment. But before I begin, I just wanted to tell you a bit more about myself. I am currently a university student studying history and education. I want to be a teacher one day, and being a part of this series has taught me so many cool things that I want to share with you guys. In Dr. Mant's video, she shows us how an egg can be used as a jumping off point to talk about the Second World War and the history of the Canada Food Guide. She then explains how other objects and artifacts can be used in a similar way. I completely loved this idea and thought it was a great way to analyze and examine primary sources with your students. Starting with common objects is a great way to draw the students' attention and to bring out the discussion of narratives and perspectives that are not usually taught in Canadian classrooms. As Dr. Mant mentioned, you didn't necessarily need to have these items physically. This inspired me to look for online digital collections that I think would be great for this assignment. So some collections I found were on the websites of the Archives of Ontario, the Canadian Museum of History, Our Legacy, and as Dr. Mant recommended, the Museum of Healthcare at Kingston. All these collections were easily accessible, and these institutions had a bunch of them online that you can choose from. The links will be in the description of the video. So the Archives of Ontario are slowly digitizing their collections, and they offer many artifacts that would be great for an assignment like this. So here we're on the Archives of Ontario website, and we're currently on the homepage. It does look a little plain, but it does have a lot of great information, resources, and exhibits that we can use for Dr. Mant's assignment. So if we head on the left side over here into Explore Our Exhibits, and then we can click Online Exhibits, this will lead us to all the exhibits that are made digitally available. And they're kind of grouped into different categories, so we can choose whatever we want for our specific topic that we're covering in class. So here you can see there are arts and architecture. There are also Black Canadian history here. And then as we scroll down, you can see there are just a bunch of exhibits made available. And so people and communities have a lot over here. And I just found that this was a great resource to finding different digital collections, and a lot of them do help with creating an assignment like Dr. Mant's. A collection I really liked were the 5 Women and Their Diaries collections, which features diaries from the late 19th century and photographs of items used by these women. The Canadian Museum of History offers a lot of great digital collections from all across Canada. Most of the collections also have a page dedicated to teachers that provide great resources specific to that collection. This is the website for the Canadian Museum of History. And so we're currently on the homepage, but if you head into the top right over here and press Exhibitions, and then scroll down and click Online Exhibitions, we could see that they categorized all these exhibitions into ones that are digitally accessible. So here we have a lot of topics to choose from for Dr. Mant's assignment. We can choose kind of the Virtual Museum of New France, which sounds really cool. And if we continue scrolling down, we can head into like different topics like hockey in the Rocket Richard, the Legend, the Legacy. So it's really cool that they have a lot of different topics that they cover. And as I keep scrolling, you can see that there are a bunch of exhibits that we can use for this assignment, and it just keeps on going and going. So I think this is a really valuable resource for Dr. Mant's assignment. And there's just so many topics and areas to choose from, which is really great. And if you head into one exhibit here, let's say, for example, Making Medicare, the history of healthcare in Canada, we can see that a lot of these exhibitions have a special kind of tab for educational educators and teachers. So if we click on that, we can see that there are a lot of, for example, in Making Medicare, there are a lot of resources for teachers and some resources for students, which involve like web quests and lesson plans, which is really cool as well. A great collection I found on the website was called Canada at Play. It features a collection of toys and games collected from as early as the 1800s to show how children lived and played in the past. I found Our Legacy while I was looking for some collections on Indigenous Canadian history. I'm glad I found this because it features a ton of collections relating to the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. So this is the website for Our Legacy. We're currently on the homepage, and if you head to the left side over here, you can see that you can browse the collection by location or a resource type, which is useful for any teachers looking for anything in specific. But if you head into the exhibits tab over here, you can see that these are all the cool exhibits that they have on their website that we can use for Dr. Mant's assignment. And they kind of range from Métis culture all the way to like residential schools here. And on top over here, you can also see that there are slideshows. So if you press that, there are kind of these different cool pictures and photographs that are curated by the website creators, and you can use them for kind of presentations or even this assignment as well. And if you head into other resources here, you can see that there are essays for you to review, or there are also maps that you can use for your classroom. And there are also other digital projects and websites that you can use if your topic for a lesson or even for an assignment involves Indigenous history. And I think this is really cool. So a collection that stood out to me from Our Legacy was Métis culture. This exhibit features a ton of great photographs and artifacts that you can use in your classrooms to teach about the Métis culture and people. And last but not least, the Museum of Healthcare at Kingston. This website was great for collections on public health with artifacts and photographs of various health-related objects that are very relevant today. There are also plenty of educator resources available, and the website hosts a variety of games and digital content for students too. And here we are at the Museum of Healthcare at Kingston, their online website, which Dr. Mant recommended herself for these kind of exhibits and online digital collections that we can use for her assignment. And if we head up here into Explore and then Exhibitions, we can see that they have a bunch of exhibitions, but what we're looking for are online exhibitions. So if we press online, we can get everything that is made digitally available for us to use for Dr. Mant's assignment. And so over here you can see that they have a bunch of kind of different topics that we can use. And for example, fighting for breath, we can see here that they provide a lot of different photographs and primary sources that we can use for Dr. Mant's assignment. And there's just a lot to explore here. There are more kind of collections made available through these tabs. So for prevention, we can see for public health, there are the WHO organization and kind of pasteurization and dairy control, which also have different photographs to use. And if we head over here into resources, we can actually see that there are more resources for teachers that we can use. Educational resources are located here in the educational section, and there is also a selected bibliography that we can use to read some more if we're interested in that. So if we head into the educational section, we can see that they also provide kind of teacher plans and student handouts for this particular exhibit, which is really cool and I find really helpful. So yeah, this is definitely a website that you would want to explore for Dr. Mant's assignment. A collection that instantly stuck out to me was Vaccines and Immunization. This collection features items and topics that are relevant today and goes through the Canadian experiences of these diseases and their impact on Canadian society. I really like the collection that Dr. Mant recommended, and I'm glad she was able to show us how an egg can be a jumping off point for so many topics for discussion and learning. These are just some of the collections that interested me. The possibilities are endless, and this assignment can be scaled up or down depending on the grade level you are teaching. I hope you guys find this assignment as interesting as I did, and let me know in the comments if you found any online collections that you like or you think would be a great fit for this assignment. Well, that's all for me, and make sure to check out our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook pages to keep up with all of our amazing content, and check out our website for more information and resources on Dr. Mant's assignment and our other videos as well.